Hi everyone. Well, first things first, I am really hung up on grammar rules, words usage, things like that. So the first thing I need to address is Facebook. Alright, Facebook is great, everything's fine with that, but when one of the people or companies tries to sell something and they're actually spelling things wrong, that's a problem, because then everyone thinks it's right and it's actually wrong. So I'm actually okay with things like billboards. Most of the time, companies spell things correctly and use words correctly. Firstly, Mafia 2, it just came out, and you don't have to play it, it's not that good of a game. Mafia 1 was so much better. Mafia Wars, the first one was so much better than the second one. The second one is just junk, in my opinion. The following picture shows a little bit of that. There's a word called losing. If you're losing, then you're not winning. Winning, everyone needs to spell it, double N. Losing is lose. Lose has L-O-S-E. Some people spell it loose, as in that person was wearing loose clothing. You can't use loosing as losing. So it's a very common mistake that 7th graders do, that I've seen, and for some reason companies are doing it as well, because whoever is trying to sell on Zanga do a terrible job. So stop doing that. Losing has one O. It's not loosing. Loosing is only really used for if you're loosing your fury on someone. There's very few uses for that. Otherwise, you're loosening something as in a belt. So, it's focus on that grammar. Figure it out. Aside from the grammar issues, I have a present for myself. This came in the mail today, and I'm very happy. I've been waiting for, I guess, 3 days, and we've been really spoiled. I'm sure some of you remember when we had to wait 4 to 8 weeks, legitimately, 6 to 8 weeks, legitimately, for the mail to arrive to us, whatever package we order. So when things before Amazon, when you mail order something, you order in a catalog, you send it out, then it gets sent back to you, and it really was a month and a half later before you got your items, such as clothing or a hat or boots. And then you found it didn't work, so you sent it back. Now things are so much better. It's crazy. It's really insane. So this is my item and my gift to myself. Magic cards! Yay! See, it's my gift to myself. Very happy about that. And so this is the core set M11. Core set 2011 is the best set of core, in my opinion. It just reprinted all the broken cards, and so if you're going to buy any core set, 2011 is much better than 2010 or 2012, unless you go for I don't know, 7th edition? 7th edition is not bad either. So, just a nerd side of me, and for those who are nerds as well, I got 6 booster packs for about under $20. So I got it for under $20 at cardkingdom.com. The last thing I want to address is the ridiculousness of our country. I mean, our country is great, I love our country, and I love the things that we have, because obviously I'm just doing silly things like that. But, all things aside, it's crazy when you hear about news about, political prisoners being released from Myanmar recently, about 2 days ago, and it's a really big deal because they're only releasing some prisoners and not other prisoners. So we're talking about real political issues of how countries work. And the news right after that is how our new iPhone, the voice recognition, is working out. So, get me here, alright? So it's really important country stuff, and then all of a sudden, is our toy functioning so we can just talk to it instead of typing to it as an interface? That is kind of silly. Kind of ridiculous, but, it's the country we live in, and I am really happy to be in the United States because I can do all these wonderful, silly things and buy, useless things like magic cards. So, those are my 2 cents. I'll see y'all later. Take care.
You see, this guy walked up to me in the street the other day, and he said, "I've got a game I'd like to play with you with 3 playing cards." Okay, so, got this card. This card. And that card. He said, all you've got to do is keep your eye on that card. And with that, he takes that card and he puts it on the bottom of the pile. And now he asked me, where's that card? And I say, well, I obviously just saw you put it on the bottom. He says, no, that's this card. Now, I say, well, if this card's on the bottom, then that card has to be on the top. He says, no, that's also this card. And I say, well, if this card's on the top and bottom, then that card has to be in the middle. And he says, no, that's also this card. Now I say, well, that's not fair. You're playing with 3 this cards. He says, no, that card's on the bottom. Now I say, well, that was just this card a minute ago. And he said, yes, and also was the top card. And I say, well, now you're playing with 2 that cards and 1 this card. He says, no, I'm playing with 3 that cards. And I say, well, now you're just cheating. I'm not an idiot. And he says, yeah, but you are a really big sucker.